Good afternoon. Hello. I am so thrilled to be here and I'm so happy to see so many people. And before we get started, I wanted to do a little breathing technique. There's 3 reasons. 1, I want us to come into the space, both mentally as well as physically. 2, my default setting is excitable puppy, so I need to calm myself down. And 3, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to adopt this as part of your hormone balancing arsenal kit. So if you will, please place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And just take a moment to notice which hand rises and falls first, or which hand does more of the work. And if it's your left hand, I want you to take a conscious effort to breathe deep into the belly. We're going to do a technique called 4-7 breathing. I'm going to do the counting, you're going to do the breathing. And as you're breathing in, imagine a little flame in your belly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Take another few deep breaths in and out. And in your own time, you can open your eyes. This is modern life, isn't it? There's always sounds, there's always a bit of a buzz, there's sometimes a bit of noise. And we have control over one thing, whether we get pulled in different directions all the time or if we're able to find a moment for ourselves. But what also gets implicated when we get stressed is we have other physiological changes in the body, and one of those is cortisol, a hormone, gets secreted from your adrenal glands. Now, cortisol is really interesting, and I'm not talking about Addison's or Cushing's. I'm not talking about fatal illnesses here. What I'm talking about is not functioning in the optimal ranges, where your cortisol is being overused. And that cortisol, very simply put, that message of stress overrides your other messages in the body. And I'm going to keep saying that because I feel that this is a really important point to make. So, how do we de-stress? Because I don't have the magic wand, and as I said, there's not a pill for everything. And if there was, I'd be handing them out here, and that's what this talk would be about, is come get your wand. But how do we cope with stress? That breathing technique that we did in the beginning, that 4-7 breathing, that can be one of your tools. Research shows us that slowing the breath down to 6 breaths per minute can actually switch us from that sympathetic, that go, go, go nervous system, into parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. And I'm going to add something to that, rest, digest, and hormones. That's where they're optimal functioning. So I really encourage you to take on that 4-7 breathing and do it 3 times a day for 20 breaths without fail. But don't get stressed about it, because that sounded like that could be quite stressful. But try and incorporate it every day into your life. And when you do feel stressed, do another 20 reps. Get up, walk away from your computer. The thing is, it's still going to be there when you get back. Go to the loo, go for a little breath. We used to go for smoke breaks. Go for a breath break. I think it would be really beneficial. But what I want to show you is how we need to look upstream. With these little niggles that we have, with these conditions that we have, with us just feeling some low-grade kind of horrible all the time. I want to show you how maybe we're looking at that a little bit upstream to see how all the hormones affect each other, that railway system that I was talking about. If we're stressed and we have anxiety, that can have a massive impact on a whole lot of other things in the body. But that stress and anxiety, that cortisol, if it's raised all the time, it can actually affect our sleep. So how cortisol works is it works like a seesaw with your sleep melatonin. So melatonin helps us sleep at night, cortisol will go down at night, melatonin will go up. If you're stressed, if you're looking at that blue light, as the research shows us, that's your phone, your mobile, your tablet, it actually keeps cortisol higher and melatonin can't kick in well. So that could be one of the reasons why you're not sleeping well. If you tend to wake up at night, the middle of the night, it could be that your blood sugar is not regulated. Insulin comes in there. And what your body then does, it wakes you up and it gets cortisol to break down some blood sugar stores to keep you alive. It's clever like that. But if you don't sleep enough at night, then you might find that the next day you're really hungry. Does anyone feel like they're just like hungry all the time? I mean, I used to night feed. Before I got my thyroid balanced, I used to get up in the middle of the night and go and eat chocolate. I used to get people to hide it up high, and then I used to climb on a chair to get to it. But anyway, that's a story for another time. But if we don't sleep enough, it actually throws out our satiety and our hunger hormones. That's leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is our satiety hormone. Ghrelin is our hunger hormone. I like to think of it as a gremlin. Don't feed it after dark. So I just want to leave you with one thought from the introduction of my book, and that is, my greatest learning has been that working to optimize my hormones is a journey, a series of gentle, consistent changes over time. And this is my message. A lifestyle that achieves hormonal balance is about consistency, not perfection, nourishment and not deprivation. I now honor my body by respecting its natural cycle and working with it instead of against it. And I hope that you'll join me. I hope that you'll start trying these little tips that I've given you. I hope you'll start decoding your thing, and that we can all stand together and shout, I am woman, hear me roar. Who's with me? Yay! Thank you very much.